Hello and welcome to the programme.
Good evening. Coming up on Calendar tonight. 25 years after the Selby train crash caused by a motorist who fell asleep at the wheel, a train driver's widow on how lessons still need to be learned.
I just hope that the awareness around the anniversary might actually stop somebody, even if it's only one person, that they stop and have a break instead of carrying on driving.
Controversial plans to build a visitor centre near Huddersfield's Castle Hill are given the go-ahead.
Tomorrow we say goodbye to what has been a very dull February and winter, but will we see any sunshine for the first few days of the meteorological spring? I'll have all the detail a little later on, and...
Yes, it's the morning after the night before here in Las Vegas, and I'm live outside the stadium where tomorrow afternoon the Leeds Rhinos take on Hull Kingston Rovers in an historic game of Rugby League.
First tonight, a poignant anniversary will be marked tomorrow to remember the 10 people who died following a freak crash on the main East Coast rail line back in 2001.
For those affected, including survivors, it seems hard to believe it was 25 years ago on a cold, snowy Wednesday morning when a Land Rover left the M62 and careered onto the tracks at Great Heck in North Yorkshire. A passenger train and freight train collided after the car was hit, causing carnage. Gary Hart, the driver of the Land Rover, living near Louth at the time of the accident, was sentenced to 5 years for death by dangerous driving. The jury agreed he'd fallen asleep at the wheel, which he denied.
Today, we've been speaking to the widow of the freight train driver and a man who escaped with his life, but only just. Michael Billington reports.
Obviously, it's commemorating an awful event. It's always calming and, yeah, like a comfort blanket, really, yeah.
The peace of the Great Heck Memorial Garden, a stark contrast to the scene of utter devastation here a quarter of a century ago.
Every time I look over there and that field, and that was absolutely covered with what looked like a train set that a giant had kicked over and trodden on.
They are images etched in the memories of those who lived through the worst UK rail disaster of the 21st century. 10 people were killed and more than 70 were injured when a passenger train derailed and hit a coal train coming in the opposite direction. Mary's husband Steve, the father of her 2 sons, died in the cab of the freight train. Was the hardest part telling the boys?
Oh, definitely. It's the hardest thing I've ever had to do. I just took them upstairs and told them, I'm really sorry. There's no easy way to tell you this, but Daddy's dead. He's not coming back.
It was an unlikely and avoidable tragedy.
Police? Hello, I've had an accident on the M62. I've gone off the road. I'm gone down an embankment. I'm on a railway line. Yeah. There's a train coming. Oh my God.
The caller, Gary Hart, was unfit to drive. Sleep deprived, he nodded off at the wheel, his car and trailer drifting off the M62 near the village of Great Heck, missing the crash barrier by a matter of inches. It ploughed down the embankment and onto the East Coast main line. Just seconds later, the high-speed passenger train slammed into it and partially derailed before hitting points, sending it careering into the path of an oncoming freight liner.
All of a sudden there was a severe braking, and that's the last I remember. And then I realised I was lying on the floor of the coach, and it was cold, it was dark, it was beginning to snow, and it wasn't until a couple of days later I really found out what had happened. It just gives me a chance to think and remember those who didn't make it and those who did make it but were far worse long-term injuries than me.
Gary Hart always denied he'd fallen asleep, but the jury found him guilty of causing the deaths of 10 people by dangerous driving. He was jailed for 5 years but served just 2.5. Despite the passage of time, Mary Dunphy's attitudes towards driving still haven't changed.
I can't get my head round that. It's still so casual, and actually It's not casual, it's a killer. And I just hope that the awareness around the anniversary might actually stop somebody, even if it's only one person, that they stop and have a break instead of carrying on driving. I don't think I'll ever forget it. And I don't think I should forget it, really, because it's coloured my life from then on in, hasn't it?
Well, Mary and her youngest son, who followed in his father's footsteps by becoming a train driver himself, will join those also bereaved by, or indeed those who survived the crash, at Selby Abbey for a memorial service tomorrow afternoon. There'll also be a smaller, more private service here in the Memorial Gardens themselves. You know, many of those at those services tomorrow will have been complete strangers until that fateful day back in February 2001. Strangers brought together by the most unimaginable tragedy and by a heartache that only they can truly understand.
Michael Billington live at Great Heck for us this evening. Thank you.
A major disturbance at a school in Sheffield yesterday was down to community tensions, according to a letter sent to parents by the head teacher. Police were called to Fir Vale Academy shortly after noon yesterday after reports of students fighting. Several staff were slightly injured and one needed hospital treatment. Additional police will patrol around Page Hall over the weekend to reassure the local community.
The government has put the decision on plans for a controversial gas drilling rig in Scarborough back into the hands of North Yorkshire Council. Proposals for Europa Oil and Gas's 38-metre-high gas drilling rig in Burniston, which opponents claim to be fracking, were due to be decided in January, but were postponed after requests that the government look into the application. The Ministry of Housing has now said the future of the plans will be decided by the local authority. We've contacted Europa for comment.
Now, it's been described as incongruous and unnecessary by the Poet Laureate, no less. But plans to build a multi-million-pound visitor centre on Huddersfield's famous Castle Hill will go ahead.
The centre, which will include a restaurant, bedrooms, cafe and car park, will be built on the same site of another hotel, which was torn down 2 decades ago because it didn't have the right planning permission.
Councillors approved the plans by the Thandy Partnership, but by the narrowest of margins, just one vote. Helen Steele reports.
Its profile represents a beacon of hope, a place of escape and belonging. The words of Huddersfield-born Poet Laureate Simon Armitage. Those who walk on Castle Hill every day agree.
It's just peaceful, quiet, there's wildlife, it's great.
This has stood for 4,000 years and it's looked like this for most of those years.
Developers have been given permission to build a £3.75 million visitor centre on this site. It'll include a restaurant, toilets and spaces for 41 cars. They describe it as a barren, stony, rough car park, but the problem for campaigners is the beauty and history that surrounded it for centuries.
So, Jeff, beautiful view. You can see for miles around here. Lots of people, and I guess people in favour of this want to tap into that. They want people to come here. Do you think that it's a good thing, bringing visitors here?
It's good for people to come, but hundreds of people come on a day in summer anyway already. All that might be needed is maybe some public toilets or some signs to explain what's here. Doesn't need to have a building with a big restaurant and underground hotel rooms built onto top of an Iron Age hill fort.
In the Iron Age, Castle Hill was a defensive fort, and later the tower was built to commemorate Queen Victoria. Former architect Janine says the plans ignore its historic significance.
It actually cannot be built without dismantling that embankment.
And what would
that
mean?
Well, that's interfering with the essence of the hill. It just means you're dismantling history.
Others worry the winding road leading up the hill won't cope with traffic.
The roads around here are narrow. The access road is really not suitable. There was no transport management plan. So it's really incredible to understand why this has been approved.
Developers, the Thandy Partnership and Kirklees Council say the new building isn't just for tourists, but would provide much needed facilities for those who live here.
It just needs something here so that so people can just get a drink, get something to eat, have a snack and enjoy the place.
Kirklees Council says it followed all required planning and legal procedures. The one thing standing in developers' way is the Victoria Tower,
A protected monument, it needs special permission for development from the Secretary of State. A beacon of hope for the Poet Laureate and a beacon of hope for campaigners. Helen Steele, ITV News in Huddersfield.
I wonder what you think about that. I'm sure you'll let us know. Now then, you're watching Friday night's calendar, and stay with us because we're heading stateside shortly, where dancers from across West Yorkshire will be performing in front of thousands of sports fans as Rugby League heads to Las Vegas.
And we've had some pretty impressive temperatures over the last few days for the last week of the meteorological winter. What about the first few days of spring? All the detail a little later on.
Now, I think it's fair to say many of you watching Calendar this evening will be doing so while having your tea. If so, I wonder what you're having tonight.
Good question. Well, for some people, Friday night is takeaway night, and there's so much choice out there, isn't there? With more and more fast food outlets popping up and online deliveries too.
But do we really know how healthy our takeaway addiction is, or exactly what we're eating? Amrit Birdie has been taking a look.
From our high streets to our phones, the UK's addiction to fast food shows no sign of slowing down. According to the Food Foundation, 1 in 4 eateries in England now sells fast food. As well as impacting our waistlines, cafes like this one in Sheffield say they're having to adapt as they struggle to compete with the convenience of takeaways.
We've got some schools close by, and over lunchtime the kids definitely will come and they will just go to the fast food or the branded, the large franchises, because although, you know, we're constantly beating the button of shop local, use your independence, I just don't think that sort of school age sort of particularly care about that. They just want whatever's been marketed to them.
Despite its popularity, research shows that 41% of people in Yorkshire worry that fast food is even more unhealthy than they realised. But there's a reason so many of us find it hard to cut back on the convenience and the calories.
It's engineered in such a way that it's really quite addictive. So there's something called the bliss point, which is a specific mix of fat, salt and sugar, which triggers dopamine, which is the reward system of the body, and then you get a little trigger of dopamine, and then that makes you want the food more. Most fast food doesn't contain fruit, vegetables, fibre, and they're all things that we need, and if we had a balanced meal that we cooked at home from scratch, we would be getting that kind of thing.
Thinking it'll take too long to cook from scratch is one of the reasons people turn to fast food. So I paid a visit to recipe developer Sophie Narmad, who specialises in speedy meals.
So basically what I'm doing here is making a kind of fancy pesto, which is going to coat the pasta really nicely. I'm going to use this blanched spinach, and then some blanched peas. It's going to be a very vibrant recipe.
So, Sophie, I've just seen you cook this beautiful looking dish in about 10 minutes, I'd say. It's not fast food, but it's food that's been cooked fast. Can anyone replace a fast food meal that they're in the habit of eating with something like this?
Oh yes, of course you can. I mean, it's all about clever little hacks. With this, I heavily relied on just a little tiny blender that has sort of given all the flavour to this dish. We're using kind of a focus on really fresh, whole ingredients. So it just doesn't really compare to the kind of fast food takeaway that you can get sometimes.
So the next time you reach for that food delivery app on your phone, just think what 10 minutes in the kitchen could deliver instead. Amrit Birdie, ITV News.
Oh, you see, I haven't decided what I'm having for tea yet tonight, so it might be a takeaway.
I might be having spinach and peas.
Oh!
Or
She's
maybe
a goody
not.
two shoes, isn't she? Right, the ITV Evening News continues at 6:30. Here's a look at what's happening with Charlene White.
A seismic win for the Greens in Gorton and Denton, but a bruising blow for Labour. Keir Starmer's vowed to keep on fighting, but MPs say it must be a wake-up call. We'll have the latest analysis. Soham double murderer Ian Huntley remains in a serious condition as his attacker is named. And the Wanted's Max George speaks from the heart about having his pacemaker fitted. Do join us for those stories and more from 6:30.
Thanks very much, Charlene. Now then.
Kerry's with us. meteorological spring on its way.
have a little deep breath. Sometimes I have to have a deep breath.
Tricky word to get your mouth around,
especially on a Friday.
Spring's on its way.
Spring's on its way. We say goodbye to the season. Yeah. So the next time I'm stood here, I'll be talking about spring because, of course, it's a meteorological thing. We have to wait a bit longer for the astronomical spring. So I thought I'd just even Stevens in terms of months. Our winter months are December, January, February. Spring, the next 3 months, of course, March, April, May, and so on. And it's full months because that's what we've been doing for hundreds of years in terms of statistics and data. And we can't look back and see what went on in the past if we swap all the dates around, if that makes sense. So we're going to say goodbye to February tomorrow. It looks like we've had half the amount of sunshine and almost 50% more rain across most parts of the region. I thought I'd show you the maps up until yesterday. So of course today and tomorrow we've got to talk about as we head into next week. But you can see very clearly at a glance that the left-hand map, the temperature, we've either had it a white, which means average or above. The middle one is sunshine, hardly any. Gosh, it's felt like such a long winter and a grey winter. And on the right, plenty of rainfall, of course, especially over higher ground where we had those 38, 39 consecutive days of rainfall. So it's Friday, so I'm full of the joys of spring. Winter sun, it's been very dull. We've had 20% less sunshine. And for the UK as a whole, I will go into regional statistics next week when we've got all the data. It's been the 5th dullest in the UK. Records go back to 1910. But it is Friday, and I don't like to leave you with some bad news.
Good. So here's some good news.
So here's
Kerry.
some good news. If we look ahead to the charts for next week, it looks like high pressure is building. It might just be for a couple of days. It might not be wall-to-wall sunshine, but oh my goodness, it feels like a long time since we've seen high pressure. We've had lovely sunrises and sunsets this week with those temperatures. Here's some more good news. The sun rises before 7 a.m. and this time next week, the sun will set after 6 p.m. There you go.
That is fabulous news. Thank you very much indeed, Kerry. We all look forward to those longer days, don't we? Time for some sport now, and it's a huge weekend on both sides of the pond.
Powering local sport in the community. Octopus Energy sponsors ITV Regional Sports Report.
Some football here first, and Daniel Farker says Leeds United is ready to thrive as underdogs against Manchester City tomorrow night in a game that could have huge ramifications at both ends of the Premier League table. Leeds have lost only 2 of their last 14 league games and have a remarkable record under the lights at Elland Road. Since the German took charge, they've had 19 wins, 3 draws and no losses in evening kickoffs. But that formidable form will be put to the test against a City side chasing a 4th straight win to keep the pressure on title rivals Arsenal.
They have some of the best players in the world. They have the best manager in the world. Yeah, it's a big challenge for us and a big task, but also a task we're looking forward to. So it's always great to play in our living room in a full-packed Elland Road, and for that we're looking forward to a game where we are, of course, the underdog, but we've shown also several times that also in this role we can deliver convincing performances.
Well, despite that big game tomorrow, the City might feel a little quieter this weekend because 6,000 Rugby League fans have travelled stateside to see the Leeds Rhinos take on Hull Kingston Rovers.
So it is to Las Vegas that we go live now to join our sports correspondent Chris Dawkes, who's having a great week, and he's also there to witness some history tomorrow. And Chris, it's a big occasion, of course, a first Super League game involving 2 teams outside of Europe, and it's being played at a pretty big stadium too, isn't it?
Certainly is, Ian. Yeah, well, I'm live right now outside the Allegiant Stadium here in Las Vegas, but I've got to point you in this direction because look at these. We've got 40 dancers. They're amongst the 6,000 that have travelled over from West Yorkshire. They're going to be performing during that 3-match festival of Rugby League tomorrow afternoon. They're putting in some final rehearsals here before that big occasion for them. It's going to be quite the day, I can assure you. But let me talk about this stadium. This Allegiant Stadium, it's home of the NFL side, the Las Vegas Raiders. It was built for just under £2 billion. It opened in 2020. Its nickname, believe it or not, is the Death Star. And it looks like it's just been dropped here from a galaxy far, far away. And tomorrow, it's going to play host to a historic Super League game between the Leeds Rhinos and Hull Kingston Rovers. This is Rugby League, Las Vegas style. Leeds Rhinos and Hull Kingston Rovers fans not so much raising the stakes, but raising the roof
on the world-famous Fremont Street last night.
What do you make of this?
Oh, I've never been taught like this before. First time in Vegas. But I just hope I can see a few more Rhinos fans, because I think we're outdone at minute by LKR, to be fair.
But you're not outsung though, are you?
Oh no, we won't be tomorrow, let me tell you that. No way.
It's amazing, absolutely amazing. I've never known anything like it. Seen it last year and I thought we've got to do it this year.
So what brings a Featherstone Rovers fan here to Las Vegas?
Rugby league. Anybody that loves rugby league would be here.
Did you ever think you'd see the Leeds Rhinos play at an event like this before?
Never, absolutely not in my lifetime, but I'm so glad it's happening, so glad. It's great for the fans, great for the players, great for the whole sport.
It's a bit different to Headingley, this, isn't it?
Well, atmosphere is a bit, but you know, Southstand can be rocking, can't it? So it's just like being at Southstand, isn't it?
Yeah, this is pretty mental. What a turnout. How good. I want to see all the Rhinos fans. Where are you? Yeah!
It's crazy, isn't it? It's absolutely crazy. The fans have been unbelievable. They're making it. This would not be what it is if it weren't for the fans.
Now, of course, for any major sporting event over here in America, well, you've got to have cheerleaders.
Over 100 dance students from Yorkshire have joined together with many more from across the world to practice a routine that they'll perform in front of over 40,000 people on Saturday.
It's just crazy, really. It don't feel real. I don't feel like I'm here, but it's just an incredible opportunity. I'm so glad I've been able to have.
Like, it's everything, like, to just be here with my friends, like, my sister's here as well, so that's another experience in itself.
Rehearsals have been amazing so far, and just to be in a different country, being able to explore this morning. We woke up early to go down the strip, so that was really nice.
What do you make of the Yorkshire people?
The accents are definitely strong, a little hard to understand, but they're really nice. 5, 6, 7, and you run. Sorry, run.
The routine has been expertly choreographed by a former NFL cheerleader of the Miami Dolphins.
There is so much talent in this room, and I typically work with, American schools, Miami schools, so it's so nice to see that the training in different countries and all over the world is excellent, and it's a really treat seeing them. They're dancing great for me, so I'm very thankful for that.
Make some noise for the Rhinos, ladies and gentlemen.
The main event on Saturday, though, is the rugby itself, with the Leeds Rhinos aiming to topple the recently crowned world champions, Hull KR.
And in a city where fortunes can be won on red or black, well, if you're a betting man, you probably put your money on the team in red and white this weekend. But the Leeds Rhinos are out to prove they're still one of rugby league's high rollers.
It's business at the end of the day, and we've got to go out there and win. And what a massive opportunity in such a big stage, and playing against the world champions as well, and that makes it even more special.
KR, current world champions, and just because it's not near the end of the year doesn't mean how important them 2 points are. So we're going to be fighting really hard for them.
So the stakes are high. 2 valuable Super League points to bring back home. So for once, what happens in Vegas doesn't stay in Vegas.
Oh, Chris, it certainly looked like an incredible event last night, and if that's anything to go by, it should be some atmosphere inside that stadium tomorrow.
Sally, it certainly should, yeah. Estimates were predicting there was about 16,000 people there yesterday at Fremont Street. Quite the incredible evening. Some people who were there have actually joined me now. We've got Daisy and Nicola here from the Rhinestones. Daisy, what was that like to be at Fremont Street last night?
It was unreal. I've never been anywhere like it. The fans, the atmosphere, it proper made Vegas.
I bet it did. Nicola, what's it like to bring these girls out here to perform this week?
Oh, I don't want to get emotional, but I am. It's amazing. This is an incredible place. This is an amazing opportunity for these girls. They're going to make memories to last a lifetime.
I bet they are. Well, I'm going to bring in another couple here because you might have seen them earlier in the week. We've got Adele and Jordan here because they're getting married this week. Well, on Monday, in fact. Guys, what are you looking forward to more? The game or the wedding?
Well,
5 p.m. tomorrow.
Yeah, I want to see the wedding, but I think we're enjoying the whole week being here with all the fans, everything like that. It's been a really, really amazing experience.
I can imagine, yeah. And what are you thinking for tomorrow? Obviously, it's got to be a Leeds Rhinos win, hasn't it?
I've already put a bet on.
Yeah.
I'm hoping so.
You've got some money left after being in Vegas so long.
I'll be far. I've lost it.
Well, guys, enjoy the day on Monday. Enjoy the match tomorrow. You guys as well, performing in front of 40,000 people, not to make you nervous or anything. Enjoy it. There you go. Those are the dancers there, going to be performing inside the Allegiant Stadium tomorrow. What a time to be alive.
Definitely, Chris. Thank you very much. You have a good time this weekend, won't you?
He's having a great time out there, isn't he? And record temperatures forecast in Vegas over the next couple of days, possibly hitting 30 degrees. I don't think we're going to see anything like that here, are we? But here's Kerry to give us the full forecast.
Today's forecast: seafood and sugar cube towns. TUI sponsors ITV Yorkshire Weather.
Hello again. Yes, the weekend is just around the corner. Can't promise wall-to-wall blue sky like we had earlier on in the week, but tomorrow does look a little bit more promising as the day wears on. Feeling a little colder, but drier and brighter, at least for a spell, into the afternoon and early evening. Windier on Sunday, cloudier skies with some showery outbreaks of rain, but the temperatures will also recover a little bit. This was the story so far today. A lot of cloud around. This front, you can just about make it out, working from southwest to northeast today, and it's starting to pep up. So as we head into this evening and overnight tonight, they could merge to longer spells of rain, heavy at times, and we are feeling a little colder despite the cloud cover and the outbreaks of rain, which are likely to push eastwards out into the North Sea into the early hours. So if we do get any gaps, most likely over the pale lines, we could see very low single figures overnight tonight. 6:58 and 5:41 are your sun times. This front, a little bit of a pain tomorrow, lingering around. We're hoping it pushes eastwards, and then we will get that slice of drier and brighter weather. We're hoping for some sunny spells. You can see there is the risk of 1 or 2 isolated showers. Temperatures back down to the single figures, so nearer average, and a westerly flow. But if we look further west, clearer skies, and we are expecting them to push through for the latter part of the day. Showers soon following in behind though, and as we head into Sunday, another spell of rain, strong and gusty winds, but feeding in milder air, 11 to 13 Celsius. A similar story on Monday, but we're hoping for high pressure to come and visit, even if it's just for a while, by Tuesday.
TUI sponsors ITV Yorkshire Weather.
There you go. Weekend is just around the corner,
Isn't it just? Let's bring it on. Kerry, thanks very much indeed.
Yeah, that's just about it from us for this week. Don't forget to join us again on Monday when we'll have all the best bits from the weekend Rugby League in Las Vegas. So we'll leave you with the girls and the boys dancing as we say. Good night and have a great weekend.
Bye-bye.
Bye.